So we at least have that. Now we're getting. Okay. We weren't getting that before.
who we're using. Thank you. Okay, so welcome everyone. Like good. Oh, good. Yes, now I've got the mic turned on, so that's good. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and this is the third meeting of the work group on pandemic spending. I believe our previous meetings have been particularly enlightening, have produced meaningful insights as we continue to analyze our state's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm emphasizing here the federal dollars that have come into the private and public sector, which have been enormously game-changing and helpful, but which obviously are of great interest to Maryland and national taxpayers. So today we've received presentations from the Department of Budget and Management. My good friend Secretary Brinkley sent over his top aid, and we appreciated that. The Department of Housing and Community Development and the Department of Commerce, who sent equivalents to our speaker today from the Department of Labor. I thank them for participating in our work group meetings as we fulfill our legislative charge. This is something that has been mandated by the legislature to provide oversight and accounting of pandemic relief programs in the state of Maryland. I want to reiterate my strong support and the strong support of our staff for the infusion of federal and state monies into our economy. I think in retrospect that this relief was crucial in staving off an economic disaster. It was a lifeline to millions of Marylanders who found themselves out of a job, on the verge of losing their homes, struggling to put food on the table, through no fault of their own. Frankly, in many cases, I believe even more relief was necessary, especially as we learn about inequitable distribution and demand far outpacing available dollars. I also believe that with so many taxpayer dollars being dispersed, it is both morally and fiscally prudent that we continue to evaluate these transactions to guard against waste, fraud, and pandemic profiteering, while ensuring those who need the funds, the ones who actually need the money the most, ultimately receive them. This work group continues to do the important work of oversight and accounting for the billions of taxpayer dollars that have been spending over the past 16 months. Just like every work group meeting, this hearing is open to the public. I believe it's on Facebook. And we're there in person so that Marylanders can see firsthand how their money, their tax dollars are being spent. Today, we will receive a presentation from the Department of Labor, the agency responsible for the disbursement of state and federal aid specifically through the mechanism of unemployment insurance. I'd like to welcome David McClone. David, welcome.
Thank you.
Deputy Secretary of the Maryland Department of Labor. Mr. McClone, we look forward to your report and the question and answer period that follows. It is my intention that following today's meeting, Maryland taxpayers will have a clearer understanding of how much aid the Department of Labor has distributed and how much remains unspent. What is the cause or causes of the breakdown in customer service, and why issues persist even after hundreds of millions of dollars in emergency contracts were granted to supplement staffing levels? How much fraudulent activity has the department encountered? Who are the primary sources of fraud, and what measures have been put in place to combat further schemes? Once again, I want to thank the Department of Labor for its presentation and thank Mr. McClone. With that, if you could give my regards to the Secretary when you see her.
I would do that.
And if you could just give us your presentation and then we'll have some questions.
Well, thank you very much, Controller Francho, Deputy Controller Bernardi, and the members of the panel. Thank you for the time to be here today. And we'll start right in with where we are with Maryland and the numbers.
Feel free to speak up and,
Yes.
yeah.
To date, we've received over 2.8 million claims in unemployment and paid out over 13 billion in benefits. We have adjudicated over 3.9 million claims and implemented 10 brand new programs in the unemployment insurance division. We've added 2,168 staff and 1,776 in the call center, 292 adjudicators, and over 100 state staff along the way. Our virtual agent has had 4.6 million conversations with our claimant population. And in addition, we've averted 6,000 layoffs through the work sharing program and saved 21,000 jobs through the layoff aversion fund. I'll talk more about that later. This is a chart that gives you a little bit of background on the ramp up that we had in claims. As you can see, the chart starts out in 2019. And in all of 2019, we had 171,000 claims. Then, just from March to December in 2020, we had 1.4 million new claims. And you can see that spike where there were times that we had well over 100,000 claims in 1 week. The peak in the Great Recession was 6,000 claims in 1 week. So, and as I said before, as of July 17th, over 2.8 million claims have been filed. This gives you a little bit of background on 2021 and what the claim volume looked like, peaking at 50,000 claims in 1 week. And so far, we've had 547,000 new claims in 2021. And you can see how a typical week might break down between regular unemployment insurance as well as the PUA program and PEUC. We give this to you graphically to show you how we processed claims. 5,000 claims have been processed so far, and the breakdown is 82% have been paid out. We've had to deny 126,000 or 15%, and we've got 21,000 claims pending or 2% of that total. This chart gives you a little bit of background on the payout and where it went. 7 billion went to the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. 1.6 billion went to PEUC, which was the extension program. Regular unemployment, we paid out $4.5 billion. And then the smaller extended benefits program paid out $46 million. A little discussion on fraudulent unemployment claims that we've found. And so far, with, I'll say, our aggressive and heightened security measures that we placed in the new system, the Beacon system, we've flagged 1.5 million, over 1.5 million claims for fraud. And we've broken that down for you in what we flagged from out of state as well as in-state. And 1.2 million in-state and 348,000 out of state. But of those claims that were flagged, we determined that 92%, or 1.4 million, were fraudulent. And then about 100,000 after review were passed on. And we still have 19,000 and we're still under review. We'll show you that for you graphically, that the vast majority, as we said, 92% of those claims that were flagged as fraud are fraudulent. This gives you a little example of some of the things that we encounter. We ask people when it's flagged for fraud to send in some identification to understand that they are really who they say they are. These are some examples of what we got. Someone used a celebrity license, or a picture of a celebrity on a license, Chris Hemsworth. And even on the Social Security card, they didn't even bother to sign the same name that was on the card. So we get anything and everything on this. We have many ways for people to report fraud to us. We have an email address, ui.fraud@maryland.gov. If they think there's an issue, they can contact our benefit payment control unit and give us the information on that. In some cases, people were surprised to get a 1099 form that they didn't expect. And then we've got an email address where they can get that remedy, and we will correct that 1099 form for them. In some cases, people have found that their Bank of America debit card has had fraudulent activity, and there's a phone number, a 1-800 number, they can contact Bank of America to follow up on that fraud. And then again, not to be left out, are our employers. We've got a portal in our beacon system for them, or they can contact us at our 949-0033 number. We message our claimants on things that we do and don't do in helping them to avoid fraud and scams. And these are a list of some of the things that we will never do. And we will never ask or require a payment for assistance with unemployment insurance. And we want to remind our claimant population that is something they should never do. We do not provide assistance to claimants through direct messaging on social media platforms. We never arrange for an adjudication or a fact-finding interview through any teleconferencing platform like Zoom or BlueJeans. And we don't provide assistance through text messaging or send any links, and never ask a claimant to verify their account through text. We will never ask for a claimant's bank account number or credit card number over an email, and we will never request a claimant's password, or the beacon password. And we will always communicate with them through our @maryland.gov email address. We've come across a number of fraudulent social media accounts, Facebook pages and the like. So we work with law enforcement to try to shut them down, and Facebook. We found over 49 fraudulent Facebook pages since January of 2021. One of the things that we tell our claimant population is to be on the lookout. Oftentimes there'll be misspellings in these social media accounts, and we give an example up here of the misspelling in the Department of Labor, where it's obviously a fraudulent account. One of the things that we do is want to warn our population about fraudulent phishing scams. And one of the things that we do is put out information that shows that these are not legitimate text messages. We would never text a claimant with this kind of a thing with a link in it that goes to a fraudulent account. And we want to make sure that they pay attention to whatever link they click on, that it has that Maryland.gov. As far as staffing goes, we have ramped up. Prior to the pandemic, we saw the claim load was very low, and this federal funding formula doesn't give us enough funds to ramp up as quickly as we might have liked, but we worked hard as quickly as we could, added vendors and hired 1,776 call center agents, and added 292 adjudicators for staff augmentation. In addition,